My mother's death, I have been left with a unfinished dialectic with her that I feel that I miss having an end to. And it leaves me with a little hole that I need to fill. And I felt in myself that one of the best ways to do that was to offer myself the dialectic that I wanted to get from her. And that was a dialectic of forgiveness. For me, forgiveness is not a matter of being sorry. It is a matter of having a person accept the choices that I made. I'm not sorry for who I am. I would like forgiveness for that, and in forgiveness is allowing it to be without judging or holding it and criticizing it, undercutting it, speaking behind my back that it's this or that, naysaying it behind my back, negative energy. It's holding it in neutrality, in a sense, helping me fulfill the spiritual quest that I am on. So what I did once was I wrote a list of those things that my mother had accused me of behind my back to friends, etc. And I asked for forgiveness for those things. And I cannot receive forgiveness from her for them. So what I want to do for myself is forgive myself for them. And through that, fill the hole that I feel. I forgive myself for being born a horrible male. This is something that I have felt for my entire life. I've been accused of, I've been told to my face, I hate men, I hate men, I hate men, over and over around me, and not around me. And to be born a being that somebody hates so much and is constantly saying that to your face and is very hard, and I have taken it on, and I forgive myself for being a horrible male.
Because you are not a horrible male. You are a sweet, beautiful, and wonderful being of light and joy and sweetness. And I will kiss you.
I forgive myself for being a sensitive, unhappy child. I was the firstborn, and my ability to perceive was very prodigious. I didn't know that at the time. I didn't know that I was watching the racist expressions, the hateful expressions of people, and taking them on for myself. I just was awakened very early to hatred towards us. And it created in me an unhappiness that I took on those things. I felt that I was the reason, not my family, I was the reason as an egocentric child, as we all are, that all this racist, angry, throwing shit, cursing us was directed towards me, and it made me an unhappy child. I forgive myself for that. I forgive myself for not doing well in school. School was hard for me. I was already showing individuation and individual ideas that caused me to be skeptical and withdrawn in class, and not working hard in class, but working in my own projects in my bedroom, and it divorced me from the school activities. I did very average in school. I've forgiven myself for that. I've forgiven myself for not making friends, and not making a lot, not making friends well. I just am very protective of myself. People express, I'm very sensitive. I'm very sensitive. I forgive myself for my sensitivity, and I own to my sensitivity. I'm extremely sensitive. and it always caused me difficulty with those people who I was attracted to, because I was overly sensitive to comments, remarks, innuendos, lack of support. I forgive myself for listening and adapting to my mother's ideology of peace and brotherhood so well that I now embody it in my own unique way. My mother would have liked me to have embodied it the way she embodied it, but I really have taken it on in myself, and I forgive myself for so fully embodying it. I so live my life for this. Prayformance is all about modeling peace and brotherhood. It's all about modeling kindness. It's all about modeling love. And I do not hold myself against that. I embrace myself for that. I forgive myself for that. I forgive myself for not being a go-getter. What is a go-getter? What is that? That's an aggressive being who pushes people aside to get some kind of material gain. I don't do that. I am kind. I try to be kind. I try not to do this to people. The only thing that I am a go-getter for is my full expression as a spiritual being. I forgive myself for this full expression and not being a go-getter. I forgive myself for being reclusive. I am a reclusive person. As I spoke of not making friends well, I find my greatest joy by just being alone in quietness and studying and drawing and making music and reading. I forgive myself for my reclusivity. I forgive myself for not making use and capitalizing on all my talents. Once I realized that my gift was in this voice of mine, and I really fully understood that, my talents only became something to help me fully express this. It is such a gift what I can do with my voice that I cannot but be grateful and fully embodied in it, and for everything. All my talents are for expressing this voice, and this voice, being a gift, is to be given as a gift to all the beings in the planet and the universe. I forgive myself. I forgive myself for dressing in stockings, dresses, skirts, garter belts. I love doing this. I forgive myself. I love these clothing. They feel so nice. I forgive myself for this. What's happening?
There's nothing to forgive, though. It's perfectly pleasant and wonderful the way you dress.
There's so many
This
people
is making
who...
me cry.
There's so many people who have judged me because of this, though.
There's nothing to forgive, honey.
Some of these are very specifically towards my mother. I forgive myself for go-go dancing in nightclubs before I found my voice. I was a good go-go dancer too. And according to my mother, it made her cry, and she was embarrassed and horrified, but it gave me money to get through those times, and I really had a good time when I was go-go dancing. I still have a great time dancing. It is, I dance when I prayform. I dance down the street. I dance in restaurants. I dance almost everywhere I can. I forgive myself for not being successful in doing credit so my mother could boast about my wealth to her friends. I forgive myself for this. It has never been a goal of mine to be wealthy. It has been a goal of mine to be the most deeply spiritually and individuated being I could be, and that is a spiritual quest. I forgive myself for this in lieu of my mother forgiving me. I forgive myself for creating simple music that my mother didn't like. I've gotten this response from a lot of people. But what is simple music? I love simple music. I love because simple music to people means less chordal structure. I studied chord structure as complex as Wagner, Mahler, Schoenberg, all the tone rows. I know all of this. And why then don't I do that? Why don't I do all the jazz riffs? Because I have been gifted with an extraordinary ability to melodize. I can melodize off the simplest thing, and it's the melody that's divine. I forgive myself for this. I forgive myself for using my vocal cords, these special things, to make music instead of words. I do that. I forgive myself for using my vocal cords to make music. I forgive myself for not becoming a member of the symphony when I had that choice. I wanted to compose. I want to create my own music. I don't want to do dead person's music. I want to do my own music, and I chose this. I forgive myself for that. I forgive myself for not being a communist. My mother would have liked that, but communism to me is just another way of controlling others and pushing other ideas on people, and I want to be free with my ideology. I am a fully free ideological being. I forgive myself for being so fully free and ideological. I forgive myself for following a life devoted to spiritual rather than material goals. All around me, those around me have devoted their life to material goals, and they bully others through that. I refuse to do that. I have, because of that, not attained that so-called success that others had. I don't own much, almost nothing. Yet I forgive myself for this. I forgive myself for honoring the spiritual and scientific genius Yeshua. Yeshua is the name of the spirit of the philosophic being who left beautiful ideas at a time when people were so backwards and so completely unknowing about atoms and the fermentation of things, death. I forgive myself for being a studier and honorer of Yeshua. I forgive myself for not performing covers of famous songs. I am a composer. I forgive myself for being a composer and not using these to find success. I am a composer in my own right.